Well, Gaffer, another week of training. The weather's turned bitterly cold again. I thought it was warming up, but must have been mistaken. How was the week of training this week?
Yeah, I've enjoyed the week of training, to be fair. With us not having a game ourselves, the staff all have been out to watch games individually. Lads who are out on loan and potential others, if you like. So and opposition. So we've been able to do that. But despite the wet and windy uh, downpours that we've had, we've got some really good work into the lads. So yeah, we're looking forward to the game. I look back to last Saturday as opposed to the Tuesday previous to that. Whilst both the results were similar or the same, there were two very, very different performances. And I was buoyed by the way that the lads who came together on Friday and joined the group, what they did and what the group did with them in it, I thought was an improvement, a huge improvement on the Tuesday before. And of course, it's easy for me to say, but all I can do is concentrate on the next game. And now the next game is Farnborough. We feel we've got ammunition that'll hurt them. We've got to look after what they've got some really good players for this level who've scored goals over a number of seasons. So, they're not going to come here toothless. They're in a similar situation to ourselves. People will bill it as a bigger game than it is, but ultimately there's 3 points up for grabs. And, we'll be a level-headed approach. And hopefully we can turn out a performance more like the one we did at Hornchurch as opposed to the one we did against Horsham.
Big story this week, obviously Adam May signed for the club. That feels like a big signing. Are you excited by it?
Yeah, I am. I'm really pleased he's chose to come to us. I know he had other options on the table. It's a big commitment for him because I don't think he's played in the National South for, it must be getting on 10 years, I'd guess, other than his stint at Weston. So the lads, he's had a stellar career in the EFL and in the National League. And only as recently as last season, I came up against him twice for Aldershot, and he was very good in what he'd done. I've known Adam since he was about 6, weirdly. He played with one of my sons at Portsmouth all the way through the levels and was unlucky not to forge a really big career at Portsmouth. But look, he's at a junction in his career, and he needs to play football. And, if he stays fit and well, I think he'll be a great addition to us.
Yeah, and the lads, we made a trio of signings last Friday. Obviously, this has been their first full week of training.
Yeah.
Are you noticing them settling in nicely as well?
Yeah, very much. I mean, I've got to say, I think Gold in particular sort of settled quicker than Snow. He was in it, and I think because he's probably more known than the other two lads, people have realised what he is and what he might bring to the party. Again, it's a big commitment from him. He's coming from a long way away. He lives up in Norwich, the Norwich area, so he's willing to move everything down here, which is a really big commitment from his point of view. So yeah, I'm pleased. Him, Will, Lackland, they're all lads who I think bring something different to what was in the building. And already that's seen on the training ground. It was seen last week, if anybody was at the game, the reaction from our fans after the match, as opposed to after the Horsham game, was chalk and cheese, as were the performances. And like I said, we've got to be more consistent. And we've churned out some really good performances away from home. We need to bring that home. And that's something that we're working hard to find out why it hasn't happened, why we haven't kept that consistency. But then I think to myself, there's been games here where we've lost by the odd goal and we've been in the game for a long period. It's just the last one always sticks in your mind. But I'd like to think that the Borough fans will continue to get behind us as they always do, and come and cheer us on to a victory at the weekend.
I wanted to ask them that the next opponent is Farnborough. From an outsider's perspective, Lachlan's come from Farnborough. Yeah. Has he been able to give you any insider info, or is it sort of frowned upon?
No, not really. It's not really frowned upon. I mean, we've got a lad in training with us who's played 10 games for them in the last 2 months, and he's never said a word. So it's one of them things where, we do our due diligence on every team we play, whether it's in the Sussex County Cup or it's in the FA Cup or in the National League South. We make sure as much as we can, logistically, what we can find out about the opposition, whether it's getting eyes live on the ground to watch it, clipping stuff out of videos, watching games, that sort of thing. So, I mean, I trust the people who work with me to give me the right information for it so we can plot our game plan. And ultimately, like I've just said there, I mean, every elite team in the world, whether that's in football or sport, whether it's in the military, everybody has a plan until the whistle goes. And then that plan goes to pot because there's 11 blokes who want to mess it up. We've got to make sure we impart our will on the game quicker and for longer than the opposition. And that'll be the message. Go out and win one football match. It's no bigger or lesser than the previous one.
Well, just finally then, we're here at the Connect Management Stadium tomorrow. How important is it going to be to get a good turnout from the fans?
Yeah, I'm really hoping so. I mean, like I said, they haven't had a great deal to sing about at home this season, and we want to turn that round between now and the end of the season. In the 9 or 10 games we've got, I'd like to think we're going to improve as a team, therefore improve the results that to what's gone back before us, and also that therefore when you improve your results, ultimately you'll improve the crowd, and that's up to us to get them in the door.